I wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Definitely did not think I would ever be doing one of these type of videos on a luxury brand, but if you have not seen it, people are not happy with Balenciaga. So if you want to know more, let's go. So earlier last week, I want to say Monday, Tuesday, let's say Tuesday, Balenciaga luxury fashion house launched their spring 2023 collection. And I told you guys before how I have those moments where I'll just see things and that a brand will post and I just know this is not going to go well for you. And lo and behold, came back a couple hours later. I think I first saw the post on like Shade Room, but it was like people are slamming Balenciaga for their ads, because if you have not seen it, basically the ads depict children holding teddy bears that have like harnesses on them. The pictures were screaming very BDSM. I always get those letters confused, like not in the right order. Very BDSM and children. And if you don't know what that is, it's like it's a type of sexual play. So you see the problem here. You've got children, teddy bears with something that is it's explicit in nature. So why would you do that? I'm not going to include the pictures in the video just because they are just like disturbing pictures. But it's the internet. I mean, if you really wanted to see what it is that people were upset about, you could certainly Google it. I think TMZ actually posted, and I think the Shade Room actually posted the pictures themselves. I would rather not do that. But again, when I saw it, I said, oh, that's not going to go well for you, because of common sense. Like, just like, that's not your target. Like, why would you? So the campaign launched, and again, right away, people were just like, why would you do that? Why would you even, think that that's something that's okay to post? It's something that big brands, look, that's what, like, I'm repeating things that people were saying about this. Brands like pushing, sketchy, touchy topics like that just for people to talk about them and blah, blah, blah. And I can't really say I disagree with that. Now, listen. If Balenciaga has a secret hater, it is me, okay? I can't do it with them, and I feel like the best way I can describe why I feel that way is because, think of it as far as like people go, right? You always see people complaining that, people look the same and people talk the same, they dress the same, stuff like that. And then you come across people who are different. The way they dress, talk, think is different, but it's genuine. Like, that is a genuinely unique, different type of person. And then you come across people who swear that they're different, they're unique, but they're not. It's very try hard. Like, I can tell you are trying to other yourself, right? Like I'm not like those other girls type of vibe. That is Balenciaga in a fashion house. If you've seen the stuff that they launched before, it just gives very much so like you only put this out because you want people to talk about you. Like, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Like, there's a running joke that Balenciaga is a social experiment to see just how much people are willing to pay because it's got a high price tag and because it's considered a luxury brand. The brand is always given very much so like you're not trying to be unique and be different because you're actually that way. Because I do understand that fashion can be art, right? Fashion is a way of expressing yourself. Fashion, I like designers that are different. I can tell like it's not the same, sheer mesh leggings that everyone's put, which is no shade. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that in a designer, but I like when it's genuine. I don't like when it comes across as if you are doing this because people are going to talk about you if you put out a microwave as a purse, right? So I saw people saying all of that, and like I said, I couldn't really disagree with what they were saying. Especially because the same way fashion can be art and fashion is a way of expressing yourself, I also feel like a lot of designers and whatnot use it in a sense of like pushing the boundaries, like poking the bear, like how much, not just fashion designers. Honestly, I feel like a lot of brands, especially the ones like it's almost as if you're untouchable. Like, we're so popular, we're such a long-standing brand that nothing we do is ever going to get us in trouble. So, you know, let's antagonize a little bit. Let's poke the bear a little bit. We've seen it with a lot of stuff that's happened, especially with fashion designers. It almost feels like that, like a, well, you know, let's see how much we can poke the bear a little bit by posting this out. Because look at it, like, it has to go through so many doors before it's finally published that you can't tell me not one person looked at that and said, I don't know about this. Even if you know that that's not the way it's intended to be perceived, which can be debated, even if that's not the way it's intended, you can't tell me not a single person said, I don't know if this is a good, you know, connection to make with children and teddy bears and, you know, the harnesses, and it just, no one thought of that. It's giving, you know, you tried it, but you poked the bear a little too hard and it woke up. And I also say that because obviously with all the backlash that came out, Balenciaga did respond, right? So let me read you their apology. They did take the campaign down, I think the same day the campaign went down. But they also posted an apology. We sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should not have been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. They also went on to say, we apologize for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our Spring 23 campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being. So we apologize. We've taken it down, blah, blah, blah. But did you catch that last part? We're taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our Spring 23 campaign photo shoot. So basically they're suing the company that was responsible for filming this, saying that they included unapproved items in the campaign. I also want to know, like, what was the unapproved part? Was it the harnesses that were unapproved? Like, children weren't supposed to be in the ad that was unapproved? Or like them being together that was unapproved? I need you to be a little more specific on that one. And also why I'm saying it gives very much so, like, you kind of wanted the backlash, but you didn't expect it to be that bad of backlash, because let's be for real. Actually, well, first, let me tell you about the lawsuit. Balenciaga has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the producers of a controversial ad campaign that included a child, can I say that word on here? I feel like y'all know the word that, child's court ruling and BDSM teddy bears new court papers show. The fashion brand ad also showed unsettling pictures of a child holding teddy bears dressed in bondage outfits. The 2-page court summons doesn't mention the BDSM teddy bears. And the actual photographer responded. Meanwhile, the photographer of the bear ad, Gabrielle Gillimbardi, wrote on Instagram he wasn't in control of the direction of the campaign and the choice of the objects displayed. And again, also, here's the thing. When stuff starts to go left for brands, they're going to blame everyone else but themselves. Both ways, right? So you see how Balenciaga was like, it wasn't our fault. You know, the photographer that we hired included things that weren't approved by us to be included in the campaign. And then you go look at the photographer and the photographer's like, we weren't in control of what we're photographing. We were just photographing it, right? It gives very much so both of you are the problem here. And also why I'm saying it just does not make sense to me, knowing how the process goes, because yeah, the company that you hired to produce the campaign, even if they did include things that were unapproved by you, I don't understand. Did you not see the finished product? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, think of it like for anything, even if it's not a big campaign for, you know, a luxury fashion house. Something as simple as going to get like your graduation pictures taken or something like that. The photographer will, or birthday photo shoots, all that type of stuff, right? The photographer might come up with an idea for you to pose as, right? You know, people be having those conversations about like, who told you that it would be a good idea for your birthday photo shoot for you to get naked and then like have cake all over you? Was that the photographer's idea? Was it your idea? But at the end of the day, we're looking at a photo of you, you know, in your birthday suits with cake smothered all over you. So you agreed to it and the photographer agreed to photograph it. So you both got to kind of hold that out. Same thing here. Like, even if they did include things that were unapproved, who actually made the campaign live, right? At the end of the day, does it not always go back to the person who's paying for it, for the client, for the person who's like, this is going to be posted as your brand, as your graduation photos, as your birthday photos? Is that not how it works? I don't understand. Did you get it back from them? You didn't look at it and you just posted it? Now, when I do these videos and a brand is in hot water, I talk about how at least I view the way that the brand chose to handle it. You know, do they do enough? They didn't do enough. They could do better. How else can they fix it? Looking at the way Balenciaga has handled it so far, if I had to grade it, I'd give you like a C, and I'm being generous. It's giving D. Because yes, you quickly pulled the ad. You quickly put out the apology, the PR apology. But again, going back to the, you know, it's kind of giving, it's not our fault. Like, yes, we're taking it down. We're going to take accountability by taking it down. We're going to take the money loss on filming this and all that stuff. But it's kind of not our fault because the production company included stuff that wasn't approved by us and they're making us look bad, blah, blah, blah. No, because at the end of the day, like the lawsuit is saying, like, because the production company did this, now the media is reporting us a type of way, people are talking about us a type of way, and it's hurting our credibility. It's hurting, you know, how we're perceived. And but there was one other thing. Associating, that's the word, I couldn't remember. As a result of defendants' misconduct, members of the public, including the news media, have falsely and horrifically associated Balenciaga with the repulsive and deeply disturbing subject of the court decision. Oh, so I'm assuming that might be what they're saying, like, wasn't supposed to be in the advertisements, because the lawsuit doesn't mention the teddy bears. But also in one of the advertisements, there's like literally, that's, you know, the word I was saying I wasn't going to include before. There was a court decision on child, that word, that was also like in the photos. So I'm assuming like that's also what they mean by, you know, like associating us with that. But at the end of the day, you were. Like, again, I guess it comes down to, like, did you not know that it was approved? Like, did you not look at it? Did you not sign off on it? Do they not need you, the brand's approval? And it's just, it's very hard for me to believe that being the brand that it is, and probably the money that went into it, that a campaign for your, like, you know, spring launches, fall launches, like those are the big moments for brands, right? That's why we have the fashion weeks, all that stuff. I just find it very hard to believe that you are not being very detailed on what you are putting out as a brand under your name. So I guess it comes down to, I guess, how much they knew about the campaign before launching it. But that whole, like, you know, now we're being associated with, because that's what it is. You know, like, that's, you're being associated with it because that's what was shown to the public. Now I get it. I'm gonna go through the lawsuit. I really need the sun to stop playing with me right now. Because it wasn't your intentions to have that association, but at the end of the day, the association's already been made. So if you were really going to take accountability for it, the whole, you know, like, the production company being the problem is giving you're not taking accountability for it. Now, all of that to say, do I think that is the downfall of Balenciaga? No, I do not. No, I do not. For a couple reasons. One of the main ones being that luxury itself is supposed to be exclusive, right? It's supposed to be, not many people can obtain it. Not many people, you know, it's not meant for the masses, right? Because, hello, the average person cannot buy a $15,000 bag. You know, they already have a very small target audience. And when you actually look at the target audience of the company. I gotta find the best way to say this because I know someone's gonna get in their feelings. Obviously, what I'm about to say does not apply to everybody who shops luxury. And also, when I say like they have a very specific target audience, people get real in their feelings when you have this like luxury talk and whatnot. They get real offended. I feel like they begin offended because like the shoe fits a little bit. But when I say like they have a very specific target audience, like, and they're talking specifically to the people who can afford luxury and stuff like that, I mean people who can afford that comfortably. Like they can afford $15,000 bag, $20,000 bag, $5,000 bag comfortably. You ever heard that whole like if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it, you can't buy it, stuff like that? I'm not talking like the, obviously outside of that target audience, they have people, they'll save up so they can buy those items, you know, special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, they might receive that type of thing. That's not really their target audience. Like I said, the target audience is I can hit checkout on this right now, on this $15,000 bag right now and go about my day, right? I didn't have to do any savings for it. I didn't have to, you know, put away. And after buying it, I don't have to stay awake like, did I make the right decision? What happens if I get it and I can't return it? What happens if, like, those are their target audience. And that's a very small number when you look at it, right? And I mean, statistically, looking at it, that's a very small amount of people who can do that compared to the rest of the world, right? Compared to the rest of the world who, you know, there's a rent crisis. And I'm talking like looking at the world, the people, they don't have a home, they don't know where their next meal is coming from. That number is a lot bigger than the number of people who can afford to do that comfortably, right? So they already have a smaller target audience, so they really only want to appeal to a smaller amount of money. And then when you look at the people who their target audience is and who can afford to do that, those people don't care enough that they're gonna want to cancel Balenciaga over this. And I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers by saying this, but I mean, like, again, we gotta take feelings out of this and just look at it logically. Looking at it, a lot of the people who are in power because they have money, because they have the resources, because they have all of this, I mean, it's not exactly like they got there by being the most ethical of people. If they were, you know, we probably wouldn't have hunger or homelessness. I'm just saying, you know, before anyone said, stop pocket watching, they have their money so they can do whatever they want. Don't be annoying. But I'm just saying, like, those people are typically the most, you know, I want to be ethical with how I move. And I mean, just looking at it, look at the way that they respond to things when it comes to picking things that might attack their money and their lifestyle. You ever look at someone and you're like, how can you, you know, have that opinion? How can you have that thought process? And at the end of the day, it's because once you reach a certain, you know, tax bracket, as people like to call it, like, you put your tax bracket before everything else. And you'll see it. You'll see people, like, they'll pick being able to maintain the lifestyle that they like over their gender, over their race, over sexuality. And I can actually think of like a celebrity or someone who fits into literally every single one of those categories where you're like, shouldn't you want to think this way? They probably should if you're thinking morally, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them, I am going to think of who I need to communicate with, who I need to keep connections with, who I need to befriend, who I need to vote for, because I want to continue being a millionaire, billionaire, all that stuff. So, I mean, they're not exactly the most, like, ethical to begin with. And, I mean, those people, like, they don't... Some of them don't really, you know, care or participate as much in the whole, like, social media world. I would be surprised if they don't even know about it, to be completely honest. You know, they don't check the Shade Room. They don't check TMZ. They're not tweeting 20 times a day. So besides being like probably not really caring, they're not really as attached to that world. It's a very different world when you're in that world. So if that's your target audience, if that's who you're trying to impress, and those people are not about to cancel you, a bunch of people who, once again, it is no shade whatsoever, but a bunch of people who probably could not buy Balenciaga to begin with, saying Balenciaga is canceled, no one's going to care about it anymore, isn't really going to do anything. And again, I'm not being shady by saying that. It's just I know that's how it's going to go. Moving forward, they're gonna have some backlash for a little while. Like, I've seen them being dragged on like almost every platform, but it's not the same type of dragging. It's not, you know, dragging where you're like, oh, I'm actually kind of worried about the brand. I think I saw one TikTok video where the girl like burned the Balenciaga things that she owned, saying she'll never buy it again. Okay. I feel like we've kind of seen that before with other brands. If we've seen it before with other brands that are more available to, you know, the everyday person, Nike, stuff like that. I've seen people burn Nike because they were upset with Nike. Is Nike having a downfall? I mean, I don't know how their business is going right now, but come on. Nike is not canceled, right? If that type of brand isn't going to have that problem, one who wasn't trying to appeal to the everyday person, they're not gonna have a downfall. And even though I have seen it on every platform, it's not the same extent, right? Like, sorry y'all, camera cut off. But ironically, of all people to point out the fact that it seems like your target audience being real quiet, it was Kanye West. Ironically, he came out and said, you know, like, oh, you notice like celebrities are not speaking on Balenciaga, celebrities are sheep, they're scared, blah, 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 blah. Right message. You might be the wrong messenger. If you guys didn't see the whole, like, Balenciaga did let Kanye go a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, amid all the controversy he's been in lately, you know, it kind of gives, would you be calling them out right now if that didn't happen like a month or 2 ago? But at least he is, right? Because, I mean, he's right. And it's another reason why I say, like, no, it's not going to be the downfall of Balenciaga, because the people that Balenciaga cares about, the target audience, does not care enough to cancel Balenciaga. They're not even speaking about it. And these be the people that they'd be real quick to talk about other things. If you guys recall, everybody and their mama let us know just how traumatized and hurt they were by Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I mean, news media outlets and the White Notes post on Instagram, it was like a month of people talking about it. People saying, you know, I don't stand by violence. I stand with Chris Rock, Will Smith, this. Like, we had to hear about we're still hearing about the slap. It's November, okay? I need y'all to put that same bass in your voice, just how you don't stand with violence, and let us know that you don't stand with children being exploited. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to care enough to say that. And like I said, they stick with what's in their best interest for maintaining their lifestyle. Because again, ironically, Kanye's ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, she is a Balenciaga ambassador. Again, she'd be real quick to speak out about things, and so people are, especially her, going to her because she's been wearing that one colored bodysuits and matching boots onesie for the last year. Okay, like, you gonna say anything, Miss Balenciaga ambassador, about your association? You're gonna keep that association? She's been quiet on that. I also saw that people were attacking Bella Hadid or Gigi Hadid, one of the Hadid sisters, because you know, she models for Balenciaga. Now, she didn't outright say anything, but I did see it reported that she took down a Balenciaga ad that she had posted. So you see how, like, even the ones who might want to say something, who might not stand with the fact that Balenciaga posted that, even they're not going to outright come out and say something, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to keeping your best interest so that you can maintain that lifestyle, right? And a lot of people don't live that lifestyle anyway. So the ones who do ain't trying to go back. I did also see that, like, what's her name? Teresa Giudice received some backlash because she was photographed wearing Balenciaga after the drama happened. Now, it's possible that she didn't know that that happened, right? She is someone who is more a little associated with social media, so, and in that world, so it can really go either way. It's possible that she didn't know, it's possible that she did know, but again, like, you see how, like, these people, they're going to continue shopping this stuff, especially because Balenciaga is not the first fashion house that's had some type of scandal that to that effect probably should be canceled, but was not. I'm gonna give it until the end of 2023, and even then that might be generous, because remember how I just said, like, even media outlets were reporting about Will Smith for like a month. Even right now, when I went to go look for reports on Balenciaga, it's slowing down. The amount of reports being reported about it are slowing down. You know, I saw some like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and I tell you, like, that Will Smith, it was coming out like every 50 minutes. There was something new, like a new person wanted to talk about how traumatized they were by it. I really want to give it until like the end of 2022. Did I say 2023 before? By the end of December, before Balenciaga will put out some other item that will go viral and people are gonna start snatching it up. It's gonna become this boot, right? I'm sure you've seen this boot all over the place. It's gonna become this bag. Like, people are gonna want to snatch it up, and there you go. We move on from this and no one's really talking about it anymore. And it's not even being like the negative Nancy, I don't want to believe that, you know, society isn't going to take a stand and stuff like that. But like I said, there's just not enough of the people who are keeping this company, you know, afloat, that are going to denounce, that are going to stop buying it, compared to the people who are calling the brand out for anything to actually happen to the brand. Because even the father of one of the children in the ads that people are so upset about gave very much so, like, people are blowing it out of proportion in an interview. And to say it, you know, specifically, the father of one of the children defended the photos in an anonymous interview with the Daily Mail, saying the photos have been taken totally out of context. No parent would actively encourage the child to take part in something which was that word. And I think the publicity surrounding what happened has been blown out of all proportion, he said. Now, I'm going to assume that father is not part of that, you know, target audience who could buy Balenciaga, Louis, Christian Dior, all of that stuff comfortably, right? I'm just going to assume. He could be, I'm just going to assume. So not only are there not enough people in the target audience who are going to care enough to stop buying Balenciaga for anything to happen to Balenciaga, if we're gonna keep it a buck, there are a lot of people who can't buy Balenciaga comfortably, right? Who do have to save up if they want to buy it, who do have to, you know, maybe like this amount of people will chip in so we can buy you this gift for your graduation, for something like that. There's a good amount of them who won't care either to want to cancel the brand for anything to want to happen to it. And we've had this conversation that cancel culture does not actually exist. Brands are held accountable somewhat on social media for like a couple days, a couple weeks, and then like we move right on along. But especially in like this type of situation, no, I'm telling you right now, it will not be long before we see Balenciaga being viral for something in a good way. And yeah, y'all, that is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you see it going for Balenciaga. Like, is there anything that they could do moving forward to make this better? Now, I did say I'm a Balenciaga hater, so, you know, it could be a little bit of that hateration, but I just, it wouldn't be genuine. And it's just, if you know anything about that world and the people that are in it, even when they do the stuff to, you know, blow things over, that's all it is. It's not genuine. At the end of the day, like, they don't care. They really don't. Like, they really don't. I think, you know, they'll do, you know, there might be like a charity donation, there might be a this or that, but I don't think they need to. Now, me saying I don't think they need to isn't me saying I don't want them to, but looking at it like business, PR-wise, they don't need to. They really don't. Sponsor a couple celebrities, put them in your stuff, have something be the next luxury item that everyone just has to have, and they'll be fine. Sucks to say, but they'll be fine. They will be fine. I'm telling you right now. But let me know if you think that there is something that they should do that'll come off genuine, even if it's not. Let's have a chat in the comments down below. Let me know if you do or if you have bought Balenciaga, if you plan to keep it, if you have been thinking about buying it. Let me know if you planned to continue to buy it, if you're not gonna buy it anymore. Let me know all of that down below. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.